Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. All protocols observed. Boy, after the lunch, man, I think you're all suffering from ethnic malaise. It's a nice way of putting it, right? Yeah, man. Well, good afternoon once again. Let me start things a little different because I like an active audience, you know? So, a little participation, if you will. And while I'm up here, if I have the occasion to say okay, I would like for you to say all right. And if I have the occasion to say all right, I'd like for you to say okay. Okay? All right? Okay. Okay. Oh, I see you're very much awake. That's good. That's good. Well, my name is Patrick Lafayette, and I am a VIP. I'm a visually impaired professional. I've been, in Jamaica, them say, I see, or I can't see. Well, I've been this way since age 16. I've had the occasion to enter the media arena in 1984 in this country, and I loved it ever since. Now, I have a hell of a responsibility. I'm supposed to be standing here and representing the whole disabled community of Jamaica. And that's not easy, you know, because them people are rough. If you don't think so, make them come protest at your house. Pure wheelchair and cane. Now, how much do you know about persons with disabilities? That's my question to you. Now, you may say that they're persons like anybody else, and yeah, you'd be right. But have you ever considered the level of influence a disabled adult or child may have within a family household? In fact, they oftentimes have quite an influence on the daily decisions that are made within the family, and this may even extend to the household purchases, the very economy of the household. We can agree with that? It's a serious thing, you know. Because if you have a disabled person in your house and you go to the supermarket to buy what you go and buy, you're going to think about what that person wants first. It's true. Automatic, if you have a disabled child, dyslexic child, autistic child, whatever the case may be, you're going to think about that person first. So in other words, we can dictate the economy of the house. Now, according to Jamaica's national policy on disabilities, the number of persons living with disabilities in the island are understated, truly. It cites data from the 1991 census, indicating that about 5% of the Jamaican population has a disability, whereas the World Health Organization guideline says that on average, about 10% of the country's population has a disability. 10%. How much people in Jamaica, purportedly? How much is 10%? About 300,000, right? Now let me ask you this. As business people and as working people, if you know that your income will increase by 10% at the end of the month, how that's going to make you feel? Can you imagine 10%? Mr. Hughes, you're here? Cliff, he left? I'd love 10% of his salary. For these next few minutes, I hope to state particular issues that are relevant to these very significant groups of people, which I am a member. And you, of course. Yeah? Let me first establish that visual impairment, it occurs at all levels and through all age groups. And any one of you right here so now couldn't be a victim of this condition at any time in your life, God forbid. Now, within the visually disabled community, we have a constant need for access to news and information. Half the time we don't know what the heck is happening until somebody tells us. So we need all of this information to news and all the other relevant services. We don't wish for charity, we want parity. Don't give me no charity. I don't want it. Put me on a level playing field as everybody else and watch me kick butt. We seek a proper partnership with not only the media organizations in Jamaica, but those with whom themselves partner. This includes marketers, advertisers, straight through to content providers. The whole kit and caboodle. Technology has leveled the playing field between the abled and the disabled. I hate using that word, but yeah, let's call it that. Nowadays, it's quite common to see a blind person using a computer. Look at me. 20 years ago, this is impossible. But look at me right now, reading like I can read. Right? And I'm doing this with the aid of a software, screen reading technology called JAWS, Job Access with Speech. This screen reading program gives me access to just about every application on this computer. Now, you can get a sample of this software by visiting, and jot this down, www.freedomscientific.com. freedomscientific.com. And just download a demo of it. It'll last you 40 minutes, then you restart it. So if you have a low vision person in the house or a no vision person in the house, this is how they can use a computer. Right? Now, in addition to computer access and keeping abreast of the current trends, blind and low vision persons are using more and more digital mobile devices as a tool to access information and services. So your iPhone, your iPad, your Samsung, your BlackBerry, and your Windows phone, we can access that too. No strange. It has no buttons, touch screen. Hey, we can do that too. You see, the manufacturers of these various portable devices are very much aware of the demand for access to these devices by visually challenged users. They know, because we complain enough. Right? So there are accessibility features built in these devices. With the iOS device, it's VoiceOver and Siri. With the Android, it's TalkBack. So if you have a Droid tablet or phone and you go into general settings, accessibility, you'll see TalkBack. If you turn that on, your phone will start talking to you. If you have an iOS device, iPhone, tablet, and you go under accessibility, you see VoiceOver, you can turn that on too. That's how we do it. In other countries where digital media is already fully established, special programming have been set aside for the visually disabled community. Since July 2012, the 9 major broadcast and cable networks in the USA are legally required to provide a minimum of 50 hours of descriptive television per quarter. Every 3 months, they must give you at least 50 hours of descriptive television. Now, what is that? Video description or audio described television shows is just a regular audio that they superimpose on the regular audio track. You understand what I'm talking about? You have the regular audio track going on. You're watching the movie. La da 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 da. And while it's going on, when there's nothing to watch or it's being said, me's a blind guy, you know. Me don't know what's happening. Them go quiet. So me lost in the movie. But with the second audio program channel, once that's turned on, I will hear a second voice say, he's reaching for the gun. He just picked up the gun. He's turning around and he's facing them. He's aiming. Then you hear the real people say, Lord Jesus Christ. So I know what's happening. That's a second. Okay? All right. Okay. I hope I get paid for the extra laughter, you know. That wasn't a part of the deal. Now, it's regular audio that you superimpose on a regular audio track, right? They call this SAP, or the Second Audio Program Channel. Right? Now, the Second Audio Program Channel is available either on the network cable box or on your digital TV itself. If you go in the menu, you'll find it, SAP settings. Or if you look on the television remote, you will see a SAP. That's what it stands for. Second Audio Program. Right? Now, an additional note. If you have a digital video recorder, it'll automatically record the video description even if it's not turned on in the unit, which is great. So it's a very key and important feature, this Second Audio Program Channel. Think about it, broadcasters. Not only could you cater to the visually impaired with the Second Audio Channel, but what if you switch and put Spanish on it? Eh? You could infiltrate the South American market with the same program you have, Jamaican program you have, but you have a Second Audio Channel. So the Spanish person just switched to the SAP and it's now in Spanish. So it'll serve you in more than one ways. It's just that we as blind people will benefit from it also. It's a win-win situation. Right? Now, descriptive audio is key for us. There's a whole heap of stuff that has descriptive audio. And if you want a better example of descriptive audio and some of the stuff that are available, you can check it out yourself. There's a website, jot this down. It's ACB. You want to put the www? Okay, www.acb, meaning American Council for the Blind, .org/ADP. There's a whole list of movies that's audio described. Yeah? You'll be surprised at some of the stuff that's there. Remember, we're normal people that have normal desires. I would like watching regular movies and TV shows just like everybody else. Yeah? Now, allow me to present you with an example of descriptive audio at this time. Mr. Engineer? Tell me which movie this is.
Hundreds of animals gather at the bottom of Pride Rock, a tall, flat ledge that towers over the rest of the savannah. Zazu, a small blue bird with a large beak, flaps to the ledge. He bows to Mufasa, a powerful, dignified lion with a thick red mane.
Which movie? You see it? So I'm seeing everything that you are seeing now.
An elderly baboon with white hair slowly climbs up to the ledge and hugs Mufasa warmly. They walk back to
interesting, isn't it?
Where Mufasa's wife, Sarabi, cuddles a tiny lion cub.
Because normally, thank you, brother. Thank you. Normally, me just sit down there like an idiot. I don't know what the hell is going on. And you know when some people get all excited at the movie, and you try to tell them, so what's going on? Will. Them just in it and don't want to tell you nothing. And you're dead for no, so what going on? And then my dad would laugh. So I'm glad for this opportunity. Because independence is key. Not true? All right. May I proceed? Okay. All right. Yeah, good. There is another online television service for the blind called Blindy TV. BLINDY.TV. Now, a blind person can log on to this site and listen to a variety of programs, from Star Trek to I Dream of Jeannie, Lucille Ball, you name it, science, comedy. I can watch all kinds of everything that is audio described. I don't see why we can't go make that step there yet, you know. Got enough stuff we have that we'd like for seeing in Jamaica. But we will move on, okay? So the web address of Blindy is BLINDY.TV. In the USA, the influence of the disabled on the family economy and in the general marketplace is well considered. Broadcast networks and commercial advertisers, they try to level the playing field somewhat by utilizing available technology to give disabled persons access to their services. Now, broadcasters have realized that disabled persons are both audience and market and must reach them on both fronts. Because we are a serious market, you know. One just don't realize that. So not only do we create access, or rather these people create access to television via descriptive audio, they also create mobile apps that afford access to blind users. So my question now, how can a Jamaican TV or radio station reach the disabled audience in Jamaica, including the diaspora, Africa, and beyond, and all those millions of disabled persons who are hungry consumers of content across the world? Because trust me, nobody no more hungry than a blind person when it comes to info, you know. Them love information. Listen to Garnet. Now, how do broadcasters, advertisers, and content providers reach these persons? Broadcasters and advertisers will need to create their own programs with SAP capability. It's a must. This should also include closed caption for the hearing impaired, because that is important. You cannot say you are going to target a local or an international market as a broadcaster, advertiser, marketer, and then you leave out the significant 10% out of your equation that carry a major sphere of influence on the remaining percentage. Or can you leave these people out of the equation? You should not. If disabled people are consumers of goods and services, then they deserve just as much consideration and attention as everybody else, okay? Do you agree with that? We're taxpayers. We are consumers. And remember me saying now, this can happen to anyone I know at any time. As professional people, God forbid something happen to you, does your profession go down the hill? Do you stop working? Do you stop functioning? Do you stop being an individual? No, you want access. Simple access. So with the local broadcasters or advertisers, believe it or not, this is an untapped market. And facilitating certain services that would allow access to the blind, deaf, dyslexic, elderly, physically and mentally challenged, it would benefit all parties involved. The investment in technology to create access for the disabled with services such as SAP and closed captioning, it's a sound business investment because it will expand the media house's penetration beyond the general audience in just Jamaica, but the Caribbean, the diaspora, and include disabled persons across the world. Let me give you a quick example. Sting, 2013, major peer preview event, correct? Big thing. I said, Mr. Man, go on and publicize and everything. But this was not accessed by millions of blind people who were probably interested in viewing it. A dancehall video presentation is more than just what you hear, you know. You take things for granted because you can see it. But the blind person who is interested in its colors, its movements, the types of dances, audience interaction, that it's not sufficiently conveyed by just looking at it because I can't see it. Getting audio of what's being played just not going to justify it right enough for me. The same applies to drama, news, sports events, cooking shows. Everything worth seeing is worth describing. I can't say nothing more access. I need to know what's happening. So along with SAP channels that the blind will use for audio description and closed captioning for the deaf, I must mention one little accessible piece of unit that I'm sure the suppliers won't think of. You see, a simple thing as a remote. Let a person with a physical disability, hand problems, try and use a remote. Make your old granny who can barely see pick out the numbers then on the thing. I say for the folks who are responsible for bringing in these televisions and these digital equipment, think of the disabled. So if I bring down 10,000 remotes, make at least 100 of them compatible for the challenged, for the physically challenged. Think about that. Yes? Okay. Now, one of my favorite accessible tools is voice recognition. It's a powerful tool nowadays. Now, just for 2 seconds, I don't want to eat up too much time, but it's important that I tell you what I tell you, that I have this platform. Now, voice recognition. Just let me do a quick 30 seconds. Will you marry me?
I sure have received a lot of marriage proposals recently. Listen.
Do you love me?
Would you like me to search the web for love?
But you understand the level that the technology is now. It recognizes everything. You call information in the States and you don't deal with anybody personal. You're dealing with your bills and you're not dealing with anybody personal. All digital technology. Now, let me give you a brief scenario about utilizing some of the technology. Simple thing for us. All right? Now, major newscast, Doop TV. You have my good friend Michael reading the news, and he reads from a teleprompter. Is that not correct? Why cannot the same information he's reading be televised or telecasted at the bottom of the screen for the deaf people? No simple sum that, boss. You just flip it. Have the same scripted information that's at the bottom, that is speaking, presented at the bottom of the screen. Now, picture Michael Sharp now, and the camera switched to a video scene. There's a riot in Halfway Tree. He's not saying anything no more. It's just the picture. I don't know what's happening. But if the SAP channel comes on and a gentleman starts saying, they're burning a bus right now at the clock. Da, 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 da. I know what's happening. Yes? With the recognition software, people, as he is speaking, the recognition software converts the voice into text. So the deaf person, while watching the news, can see what I'm saying too. That makes sense? In a difficult, and a rocket science we're talking about, this is a rocket science. This is simple technology that is available, commonplace. May I move on? Okay. All right. I have 5 minutes. Now, hear me. Digital television switchover is key to the wide deployment of these technologies to level the access playing field for disabled persons and to enhance the business case for broadcasting. Jamaica as part of the digital switchover process, tongue twister, has acknowledged in the digital switchover paper, must ensure that technical provisions is made for the disabled. This should include a quota for content and described video. We could use the US regulation, FCC regulation as a model, and mandate a prescribed minimum of audio described programming and closed captioning for news and emergency for the hearing impaired. It should be clear that this round of technological developments cannot have persons with disabilities being an afterthought. The digital transfer process must be done earlier than later. The outcome of today's conference is that the Broadcast Commission must leave with a view towards integrating regulations and express provisions for the disabled. Keep in mind that this can also be considered a human rights issue. Broadcasters and advertisers must be cognizant of the untapped 10% market share, both locally and internationally. The disabled must have access. It's not just me accessing your service, it is also you accessing me. If you don't have these capabilities, you are incomplete. You are behind the times, and if you don't have SAP, if you don't have closed caption technology. We cannot delay in making this digital transfer anymore, and we cannot do so and still continue to remain competitive in the global marketplace. We need access as a community, as a 10%, and we need it now. Thank you very much.